You may not notice it the moment you step on the court, but the real match has already begun long before the first ball crosses the net. Not with your forehand, not with your footwork, not even with your serve. It begins quietly, inside your brain, where tiny chemical reactions, emotional memories, survival instincts, and practice patterns all collide in real time. And once the match starts, your brain becomes the loudest coach, the harshest critic, and sometimes your most loyal ally. And the more you care about tennis, the louder this inner world becomes. Maybe you've felt it too. That strange mix of tension, excitement, fear, focus, and hope, all swirling together. You swing the racket, but what you're really fighting is inside. When the match begins, your brain undergoes one of the fastest psychological shifts in sports. Adrenaline spikes, not because you're in danger, but because your brain interprets competition as a kind of social survival. It's not logical, but it's deeply human. Your brain doesn't want you to lose. It doesn't want you to be judged. It doesn't want you to disappoint anyone, not even yourself. And so it primes your body for battle, tightening muscles, sharpening senses, and speeding up your heartbeat. That rush you feel before the first point, that's your amygdala, the part of your brain responsible for emotional survival, saying, "Wake up. This matters." It's also the reason your hands sometimes shake, or your breathing gets shallow, or your shoulders tense without your permission. Nothing is wrong with you. It's exactly how the human nervous system behaves when it senses uncertainty and pressure. As the first few rallies unfold, your brain begins adjusting itself in real time. There's a constant negotiation happening inside you. Part of your brain wants to control every shot consciously, as if thinking more will guarantee success. Another part wants to let go, trust muscle memory, and allow your trained instincts to take over. And you can feel that tug of war, can't you? The moments when you're overthinking, and suddenly the simplest backhand feels complicated. The moments when you're in flow, and you barely remember swinging at all. When you hit a great shot, dopamine fires through your brain, your reward chemical. It's what makes the game addictive, what makes you want to keep playing even on bad days. But when you miss an easy ball, something else happens. Cortisol rises, your emotional brain tightens, and suddenly your inner critic wakes up. You may hear it whisper, "Why did you miss that? You should have done better." And sometimes the whisper becomes a shout. Tennis is one of the few sports where you spend long stretches of time alone with your thoughts. No teammates to distract you. No coach who can step in mid-rally. No break in the action long enough to escape your own mind. Just you, your opponent, and the endless spiral of thoughts that follow every point. And because tennis has a point-by-point structure, your brain is constantly evaluating, comparing, predicting, worrying, remembering, imagining. It's not just the physical effort that drains you. It's the nonstop mental processing. Every time you lose a point, your emotional brain wants to react immediately. But every time you win a point, your logical brain tries to plan what comes next. This rapid switching between emotional reactions and strategic thinking is exhausting. That's why a 1-hour match can feel like a 5-hour emotional journey. And then there's pressure, one of your brain's most powerful triggers. Pressure amplifies everything. Your thoughts become louder. Your body feels heavier. Your timing becomes tighter. You stop trusting your hands. You start trying to force shots you normally hit with ease. Why? Because pressure shifts your brain from instinctive performance to defensive survival. Instead of play freely, your brain whispers, "Don't mess this up." And the brain cannot perform with full creativity when it is trying not to fail. But here's the part many players never realize. Your brain is not working against you. It's trying to protect you. It's trying to keep you safe from embarrassment, disappointment, or emotional danger. The problem is that tennis asks for the opposite. It asks you to risk, to trust, to let go, to swing without fear, to choose courage over caution. And that choice happens inside your brain every single point. Sometimes you feel like two different people out there, the one who believes and the one who doubts, the one who wants to fight and the one who wants to run, the one who plays to win and the one who plays not to lose. And both of those people exist because your brain is responding to a sport that constantly tests your emotional thresholds. Think about those moments when your game suddenly collapses after one mistake. It's not because you're weak. It's because your brain stores emotional memories of past failures. Times you missed, times you felt judged, times you felt small. And when a similar moment appears, the brain says, "Careful. This might be like last time." Your body tightens instantly. Your timing falters. Your confidence slips. You are not reliving the mistake. You are reliving the emotional memory attached to it. And what about anger on court? It's not childishness. It's neuroscience. When frustration builds up, your emotional brain overrides your logical brain. That's why you sometimes shout, throw your hands up, or feel overwhelmed. You're not trying to be dramatic. Your nervous system is overflowing. The anger is a release valve, not a character flaw. And then there's fear, the quiet kind you rarely admit. Fear of missing, fear of losing, fear of not being good enough, fear of letting yourself down, fear of being seen at your worst. Every tennis player carries some version of this, not because you're insecure, but because tennis exposes you. It puts your mistakes on display. It magnifies your inner world. It forces you to confront a part of yourself most sports let you hide, the part that wants control but can't always have it. But here's the truth that brings this all together. Your brain is not your enemy. Your emotions are not your weakness. Your reactions are not flaws. They are simply signals, messages from a brain that is trying its best to help you navigate one of the most mentally demanding sports in the world. When you feel nervous, it means you care. When you feel pressure, it means there is meaning. When you feel frustrated, it means you're invested. When you feel fear, it means you're growing. When you feel flow, it means your brain has finally learned to trust you. And something beautiful happens when you start understanding this. The match becomes less about controlling everything and more about listening. Less about fighting your brain and more about working with it. Less about expecting perfection and more about allowing imperfection. Because tennis is a constant conversation between your body and your mind. Not a debate, not a battle, a conversation. A dance between instinct and thought. A balance between effort and surrender. When you step onto the court with that understanding, the game begins to feel different. Points feel less like judgment and more like opportunities. Mistakes feel less like failures and more like information. Pressure feels less like danger and more like energy. And suddenly, tennis becomes what it was always meant to be. Not a test of how perfect you are, but a mirror reflecting who you are becoming. And as you play, your brain slowly learns that the court is not a battlefield. It is a place of expression. A place where your emotions, your memories, your fears, your hopes, and your resilience all meet. A place where every shot is a small moment of truth. A place where you discover, point by point, not just how you play, but how you live. Before we close, here is your gentle reminder. Every reaction you've ever had on a tennis court makes sense. Every moment of tightness, every burst of anger, every tremble of nerves, every wave of doubt, it all comes from being human. And the more you understand your brain, the more compassion you can bring to your own game. Call to action. If this episode made you feel seen, if you recognized even one moment that felt like your own experience, I'd love for you to share it. Tell me the part of tennis psychology that challenges you the most. Tell me what you feel in those tight moments. or what goes through your mind in the final games of a match. Your story might be exactly the one another player needs to hear. And if you want more episodes that explore the emotional, psychological, and human side of tennis, make sure you follow the podcast, leave a comment, or share this with someone who loves the sport as deeply as you do. Every share helps grow a community of players who understand that tennis is not just a sport. It's a journey of the mind. Closing message. You don't have to silence your brain to play well. You don't have to erase your emotions to feel strong. You don't have to be fearless to be brave. You only have to meet yourself with understanding, point by point, breath by breath. And on the days when the game feels heavy, remember this. Your brain is learning you just as much as you are learning the game. Keep showing up. Keep listening. Keep growing. Your mind is not your opponent. It's your partner. And together, you're finding your way.